was in this little path, this little walkway, was on all fours crawling in the mud because the storm had blown over 3 or 4 of the trees and you can pass any other way. And they've now chopped that down. So I'm very relieved. I don't have to scramble along on all fours like these guys do. They're far better suited to doing it than I am. That is a guarantee. Their 4-wheel drive, probably in most cases, beats my 2-wheel drive. And they're a good bunch this morning. What a team we have. We've got some news. We've got some things that have happened today we need to talk about in a second. But before we do, let me just do a quick intro. Wow, it's cold. My cheeks are rosy. But you're watching Crighton Pet Services live dog walk, and I'm Stephen Crighton. And you join us on Monday morning with the team, with the pack, ready to go and raid in. I've actually been out for a good 15, 20 minutes already, and the gang are pretty well worked already. They've got their teeth into a few things, their noses into a few things, and no sooner had we started, but we could hear a dog clearly in significant distress, probably in line with where we are just now. I'll explain what's happening. So we've probably walked about a kilometre from when we started, and apparently, so I've spoken to another couple of dog owners. So this hill, this side of the sort of valley that we're on is really, really steep. Here we've got this nice gradual slope. Some of it's a bit steeper than others, but over there, in fact, in particular here, there's a ridge line there, and there's a little sort of quarry bit in the middle. Rock climbers actually use it to do a bit of bouldering and a bit of climbing. You could see the dogs in serious distress all along, barking really frantically, and the dogs all sort of stood to attention and understood that there was something up ahead that was not right and not usual. We've spoken to a few people, and apparently one of the dogs got, not one of our dogs, and not any of the dogs that I know, I don't think, but a dog has got itself stranded on a part of the ledge that is really only accessible if you have climbing ropes. And it was in some state, frantically trying to figure out how to get back the way that it came. And 2 or 3 people have phoned the police and the fire brigade, but as we've got up to it, it's maybe taken us 10 minutes or so, 15 maybe. The barking has stopped, and I think that the dog's managed to get itself free, which is good. So I'm hoping that's the case. Good morning, Frank. How are we? There's a black lab up ahead. In fact, a few dogs. Yep, we're gonna go this way, guys. We're gonna go through this long grass. Chip, you're gonna love this. You are gonna love it. Go on, little man. I knew you'd love this. I knew you would love it. We were born to do, young man. Get into some badger country. Sound, of course, meaning badger dog or whatever. Badger hunter in German, I think. So, yeah, so that was a bit worrying. It was a bit worrying that we had a dog that was going to need to be used by the fire brigade or the emergency services in some capacity. But I think, well, I'll tell you what, I hope the dog just managed to figure it out for himself, and that's why we're not hearing the barking now. I'm scanning across. I can't see anyone over there at all. It's so windy as well. It's not the type of conditions that even hardy climbers would be wanting to do it in. It just swirls around in that little bit because it's so steep. So I'm hoping that the dog's just figured it out, but I'm sure the dog express, the dog news, I'll find out in one capacity or another through my contacts and through uh, the people that we meet. Oh, shame go. We've had a situation once when I thought I was maybe going to need the emergency services. I think I've spoke about this in the past. We had a situation where one of our little dogs fell through some ice on a reservoir, frozen reservoir. We fell through it because, the ice was incredibly thick and stable. The labs that were out with us were crashing around and managed to weaken the ice, and the poor dog fell through. And I was taking a photo at the time. It would have been shin deep, so it wouldn't have been massively problematic for the dog or for me. But what happened? One of my dogs dived in, grabbed the little dog by the scruff of the neck, like put it as if it was in its mouth, and threw it onto land. So they're very clever when they know that one of the team are in distress. And that was quite early on when I started the business. I remember thinking about that moment, like when the owners get reports to say what's happening. And I often talk about how amazing they are as a team and how they work together and how they look out for each other and how they're a little family. I often think back to that and think, wow, that was the moment that really cemented it for me, that they really do have an interest in each other's well-being and safety and things like that. So it wasn't just a nice narrative that I'd created to say that they look out for each other. I mean, they really do. And the attention that that dog got afterwards, all of the dogs rubbing up against it, making sure it was okay, making sure it was warm. It was so fascinating. Jeremiah, thank you. Thanks for tuning in. I know it's a bit windy, guys. I'm sorry. I've got my earphone in to try and kill some of the wind noise. They tend to work better than my phone's camera. But I know that it's so significant that we may not get full, we may not drown it out fully. Chip, Chip. We're really into that to kind of drag Ruby away from that there. We another few dog walkers on Friday, they were doing a litter pick around here. I actually still had a session on. I was looking after dogs and they were doing it. And a few of them found hibernating toads and frogs. I don't know if it was toads or frogs or a combination, but in this kind of terrain, they found them just lying there, kind of half frozen, half asleep. Thinking, of course, that they were picking up dog poo, but it wasn't. It was a little toad. So fascinating. And you would never, the people who showed me the photo and the little video of it, you'd never know um, what it was because it's so cleverly hidden, so cleverly camouflaged against everything else that goes on up here. It was really quite fascinating. I love, I love that. I love that. There's like a complete species here that I didn't realize used this area at all. There's like one day a year that they kind of wake up and they all migrate to the pond, but the pond's actually there's a pond on the other side of this hill, and when we're on that side, usually see on social media, all right, guys, today's the day. The frogs are all out, and so people tend not to take their dogs that side because there are genuinely thousands of them that just all come down the grass and head their way over to the pond. It's really fascinating. Really fascinating. We'll go back this way, guys. You all right, bud? You okay? Yeah. Good boy. Good boy. Edith. Good girl. So we've got the team out. We've got 8 dogs. You'll have seen I've just been panning around while I was chatting away there. They're all very well integrated with each other. They're having a good time. The enrichment will be the thing that they're after more than playing with each other just now. So you'll see they're all stopping at similar points and getting their nose into the ground. And that's the best way for them to work their brain. And when their brain works, their body works. And so all this sniffing and going slow probably is more fulfilling to the dogs than running fast and chasing the ball and playing with each other. So we take it nice and easy. We'll go at their pace and see how they're moving from spot to spot. And quite regularly, they're stopping together on mat at something that they find interesting. And what will typically happen is they'll have a sniff. They'll be able to process what that smell is, if it's friend or foe, if it's another dog or a person, or if they can smell another animal, and those kind of things. And then it doesn't usually take them too long, between sort of 5 and 10 seconds, to make an analysis of the smells that they're having and then move on to the next one. So it's fascinating watching them do it. And especially if they all congregate around one blade of grass, all 8 of them, you kind of think, well, I wonder what's been here, if it's something that they're all interested in. But quite fascinatingly, that's a word. I don't know if that's a word, but you get what I mean. So it's interesting to see when like dogs have got the same, what I class as the same nose. So they're interested in the same smells. They don't all have the same interests smell wise. So when they all stop at a certain point, see here, Step and Juno, we're sniffing the same blade of grass. Chip's diving ahead. He likes to rush ahead. He's our little scout in the group. Today, it's usually actually Alfie's job. You're quite content in the back today, bud. Chip just waiting and seeing if we're going left or right. I think we'll mix it up. Chip, let's go, sweet. Good boy. Yeah, you knew. You knew. We'll go back here. Yeah, we might go there, but we'll just wait. Edith! Edith, just wait. A couple of bigger dogs just down ahead. I don't want us rushing down this hill towards them and then those dogs thinking that we're either a threat or trying to play uninvited. We don't want that. So we'll just take it easy. Some nicely together. And you get scratched by the gorse. You can maybe hear it scratching against my wax jacket. There we go. So yeah, so when the dogs have the same nose, they're interested in the same smells. I find that really fascinating, because you might think that all border terriers are all the same breed, all like the same smells, and that's not the case. And I think there's definitely a sort of case to be made that the nature nurture thing, it depends on what the dog has been brought up with as a puppy, depends on what they're used to being around, and what interests them and what tickles them. So yeah, you tend to find. I mean, we even have Alfie's brother Biscuit, who's actually out with me this afternoon, and when those two are together, they rarely go to the same points. It's almost like they're polar opposites. Now, here you go. Look at this, see. Good puppy. Good puppy. Good puppy. Excuse me, my nose is running a little bit. I've got a sniffly nose. A sniffy nose. What are the comments saying? Monday morning last week was much more enjoyable than this one. Wasn't she? Yes, I know you were all fussing over there as if I didn't exist. No. She was enjoying the fun and the games of the pack. She was my camera person, filming the team. Just got a couple of bigger dogs and some dogs on the leads here, just over to the side here. So I'm going to bring most of them just out of sight of these dogs. In here. if we don't see them, then there's a better chance that we won't need to engage unnecessarily. Look at them all following the little path. Look at them. It's so good. Morning, guys. And it's our good friend Brendan. Hello. I know you're going to watch this back, Brendan. Hello to you and the team. You do well. I'm mentioning you. There we go. Not that we've got any concerns about meeting other dogs, but just when they're on the lead, you just don't know. And I didn't actually tell it was Brendan from when I made the decision to come this way. Otherwise, we maybe would have been a bit more social, but the pups are doing fine with or without the other dogs interacting with them. Chip, you're just going a little bit off course, bud. Yes, a little bit. Good puppy. You're so clever. It wasn't long ago that we had Chip on one of the long lines. It's only been a week or so that he's had this amount of freedom, but he's a clever dog. You're biddable, aren't you, buddy? You're very biddable. Very happy to please. And a very friendly pooch. Yeah, I'll pan around to my right in a second. I'm going to show you, in case you're just joining us at the beginning of the live stream, I was talking, we met someone who told me the emergency services have been called because a dog got stuck on the rock face over here. And where we were just up on the nice shallow gradient of the hill there, on this side, it's a sheer drop. It really is quite dangerous. And because of that, it's actually used by the emergency services to practice doing rescues of these kind of natures. We've seen that lots of times before. And it's also used by like rock climbers and people who do bouldering and that kind of thing, because certain parts of the sort of cliff face are perfect for doing it. So they've set up not ropes, but the connections for putting ropes in. I forget what that's called in climbing, carabiners or whatever. Is that right? Screws, maybe. Whatever they are, they've all kind of been set up, and they're used by a few schools or like clubs. That's what I'm trying to say, clubs. But yeah, so we could hear the dog going back to the points that we're making. It's hunting, she's getting really stuck into every nook and cranny here. So yeah, so the going back to what I was saying, there was a dog stuck on the ledge, and when we arrived, we could hear it. The dog was going bananas, and these guys obviously recognise the sound of a dog in distress. They're not in any way, they would recognise that, at any stage of their life is what I'm trying to say. And so when as soon as we got out the van and I could hear it and I could see how they reacted to it, I thought, oh dear, is this something we want to be going towards and into? But actually, when we've got in line with where I think the barking was coming from, it has stopped. So I'm hoping the dog has managed to figure out a way out of Dodge. Fingers crossed for that. But also, hopefully the emergency services weren't needed in the end to come and rescue this little pup. So a few people, the person who was telling me about it, they definitely saw it, and they were on the phone to the fire brigade trying to give them directions to where to go. But I don't, I haven't seen anyone. I haven't seen them. I haven't heard the dog, so I'm hoping the dog is okay. But you can maybe see in the background where that yellow gorse is. It's like a sheer drop, couple 100 feet. Not a nice, not a nice place to get stuck if you're a pupper. Definitely not. Alfie, keep coming, bud. Sorry, Ruby, you're stuck again. Good boy, bud. Good boy. Good boy. Ori, I know. I love that. I love this. It's funny, the grass is not that long just now. Um, it gets to a certain length and then it kind of dies off, and then I think it sort of takes about 2 years to come back. Just before Edith and Chip and these guys all joined the pack, like last summer, the grass was so high, it was like, higher than me, 6 foot. And sorry, I'm about 6 foot. It must have been about 7 foot. That's a joke. And I'm watching them just kind of snake their way through it and jump around it and jump over it, and just a workout on its own. On its own. So yeah, a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And then it kind of keels over in the wind. And then I don't know. I don't know how it goes short. It must be eaten or die off. I don't think it was cut. I don't really know what happens. It's quite a fascinating thing. I don't think it was cut. Um, but yeah, so it'll probably, this time next year again, it'll be that height, and it is amazing watching the dogs just bound through it and get lost and get tangled in it. And because everyone kind of uses the same path, the it's all very exciting for them as well, because obviously hundreds of dogs are doing that every single day as well. So from an enrichment point of view and an engagement point of view, it's very good for them to get their noses into it. Edith, keep coming this way. Ruby. I wish Ruby was as good. Oh yes. Good. Yeah. Good puppy. Hi Vlad, how are we doing? Yeah, Ori, I don't think this is council owned. Is the first part. I think this is privately owned. Before you joined the team, before you just joined, we had I'll tell you when I see you, we had an issue with this area. Someone wanted people coming and setting up camp, shall we say. So not that they're unwanted by me, but they were unwanted by the general population, I think. Stanley, can you figure this out, bud? Of course you can. You're a smart cookie. Did you guys keep coming? Keep coming. So yeah, so that's how we all know who owns it. There's a lot of work went into trying to move these people on. Anyway, yeah. So I don't think anyone comes in and cuts it. I don't just like you'd know. I'd know it. Like would either hear about it or would be here when it happened. And that's just not been the case. It's not the case. Different terrain now that we've came into here. Different enrichment. There'll be different smells. We've also got some greenery coming up through the brown, and a lot of that will be wild garlic. So even oh goodness me, I didn't look ahead. We're gonna have to jump that. Let's see what the dogs do. This is interesting. So it'll be interesting to see how they navigate this. Oh, of course they can do that. Of course they can. All right, okay. Come on then, Stanley. Good boy. Hang on. I'm still attached. Here we go. I'm getting licked. I'm getting licked as I jump down there. Right. Don't want to drag this. Doesn't like to pull it through. There we go. It's got the full poo bags attached to it. We don't want them to burst. Well, in terms of making that a mental challenge, that was too easy for you guys in the past. I'd had you jumping over the top of that. I did say I'd let you do it your way, so they did. They took the easiest route. It's Monday. You can let them off. We've got a lovely community who join us on a daily basis. I really am grateful for everyone who tunes in and says hello, stops by. But if you're one of the people who haven't yet done so, feel free to jump on and join the community. If the algorithm's brought you here and you've stayed here for a few seconds, then by all means go ahead and subscribe to the channel. You can see us do this kind of walk every day. We do a different location and we've got different dogs on each session that we do. There's a lot of overlap. There's some of them. Barney walks every day. Juno just about walks every day. Ruby walks every day. So yeah, there's a few familiar faces on each session, but we have different combinations each day. And we go different places and we get up to different mischief. So if you fancy coming and keeping us company, by all means, hit that subscribe button if you like. There's, of course, no pressure to do so. It's interesting. So when there's the potential of drama, YouTube must know, and or people hang around for a bit longer, and we get more people hanging on for a bit longer watching us. But when it's kind of peaceful and calm like this, I think people are after a bit of tension and drama in their life. And we don't really provide it. So if you are seeing this, this is typical. And they're unlikely to fight. They're unlikely to cause trouble with other dogs. They're unlikely to steal anyone's picnic. We're unlikely to get into a fight or fall out with people. Of course, I'm using that word. The word unlikely is carrying a lot of weight there. Chip, this way, bud. Come on, Barney. Come on, little man. Good boy, Chipperoo. And what about Alfie? Will we see if we can get him in? Cover your ears, guys. Alfie, come. Oh, you clever pooch. You clever boy. You're all very clever. I know. You're all great. I see you. You'll get a biscuit after that. You'll get a biscuit soon. So yeah, so if you're seeing us, you fancy seeing us again, hit that subscribe button. Don't leave it to chance. And we'll be live around about the same time tomorrow, keeping you company, and you can keep us company. You can ask any questions you like about the dogs. You can ask anything you like about how we work. And we're always very transparent and honest. And part of the reason that we do that is because this is really for the clients to see how their own dogs are getting on and how they're behaving and how I'm behaving. Edith, good girl, sweetie. Yeah, I like that transparency. Oh, I meant to say, I've got a new bit of kit coming. I've got this. So at the moment, everything's like I'm holding this. Everything's manual, and I've only got one free hand, which is really inconvenient when it comes to if one of the dogs stops for a poo in particular, which is great fun. And so I've got this thing, and it's like I don't know, it's like a chain or something. It's not too dissimilar to this sort of lanyard thing, but it's stiff. And so I can maneuver it into different positions. And then I can plug the phone, attach the phone to it. So I can be hands-free and kind of show you this perspective without my hands doing all the work and jiggling around and what have you. So that's on its way. I'm quite excited about it. I know it was like £6, but But yeah, I think it's going to be quite a fascinating way to do the filming of the channel. So we'll see if it doesn't work or if it's not that good. It's £6. It's no real great shakes. Sure, we can use it for something. Edith, don't go right down, sweetie. Good girl. Good girl. We don't want to be having to phone the fire brigade now. And you guys, come on, Alfie, keep coming, bud. Alfie's hanging because I've used the whistle once earlier in the walk. Alfie treating every part of the session as a game, and rather than walking with the team like these guys are all doing, he's hanging back. Hang on, see if we can show you where he is. Is he? Keep over the brick with that one. You see him? Alfie, come on. Oh, my God. I know. See you, bud. See you. We'll give you all of you a biscuit, and then we can maybe just clock off for the day. You've done very well. Look at you all. Yeah, can we sit though? Do you know? Oh, Skipperoo. Hang on. There's a pecking order, buddy. Stanley. Edith. Ruby. 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 Nell. Barney. Good boy. And start Chip, you can have now, buddy. I think it'll be actually I don't know if I'm dead. There we go. There we go. I think you've all had. That's worth a little like for the stream, I'm sure. A little close up of them all getting a wee biscuit. There you go. Final treat of the day. Not for these guys, for you, I mean. Right, well, I'm going to sign off. Thank you for staying with us. If you want to, give us a little like. If you want to, hit subscribe. If you want to, see us again tomorrow. If not, have a great day. And if I never see you again, have a great life. Until the next time, to my very loyal team of followers that watch me get stuck and snagged every session by Ruby and by having all the fun. I still can't get out of this. Come on. There we go. To everyone who has devoted some time to drop us a message and uh, give us a like or drop a thing in the comments. And thank you to you all. And the dogs and I will see you on the next one, which will be this time tomorrow. Until then, have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.